Alright, what's up people? So I'm back on this Z. I'm over my depression. I don't still quite know what I'm going to do with it yet. I guess my options are fix it, which is probably going to mean pulling the heads, or I'm still going to pull the engine. I'm going to pull my harness back out. I'm going to pull everything that I sink into it. I sank like $3,000 into this thing in parts. So the only way I'm going to make any money is to pull all my parts back out of it and just basically sell the chassis for like $1,500 or $1,000 or something like that. Just sell it cheap with the engine and transmission probably, but we'll see. I'm about to do a leak down test, so if any of you guys have ever want to see what a leak down test is like, I figure I'll show you that. And I'm going to get up under the car and show you exactly what was going on. So let's get to it. I'll get under the car and show you guys what I'm dealing with first. Okay, so you guys are seeing this at the same time I am. This is pretty interesting. So it was pouring out of this crack right here between the two flanges on the exhaust. Here's what's interesting. If it was oil, there would still be oil there. So I don't think it was oil. But I don't know what it could be or where it was coming from, because it was dripping right off of this, and it wasn't on the top part. It was only on the bottom part. So I guess I'm going to have to put the car back together and crank it back up and see if I can figure out what the hell's going on. I mean, all I can figure is that maybe it was spraying to right here from someplace else, and that maybe it wasn't oil, although I don't know. I mean, that is weird. I don't know, man. Maybe it was power steering fluid spraying out from somewhere. I don't see power steering fluid. I don't see anything dripping from anywhere. There's just nothing underneath here. Oh man, what a mystery, dude. I guess I'm gonna have to just crank it back up and crawl underneath here and see if I can figure out where the hell what it's coming from. I'm still gonna do the leak down test, but this is weird. I mean, it was just dripping right here off of the flange, the lower flange, like it was coming out between the two flanges and just dripping all over the ground, but now it's totally dry. Oh, wow, man. Okay, I'm at a loss here, so we'll see what happens. Alright, so I'm still going to do a leak down test, just for the hell of it. First part of a leak down test is you got to get each cylinder at the top. It's not top dead center, is it? Per cylinder? Yeah, I guess it is. Top dead center of each cylinder. And versus using the marks on the flywheel, I like to just put a couple of straws, I put them together, and then I put it down in the hole. And then I get underneath the car and spin the crank until the straw is at the highest point, and I just make sure it's at the highest point. And so I'll do that for number one, and then and then the next step I'll show you how to hook up the leak down tester itself. So then you plug in the leak down tester and you basically put 100 psi into the cylinder and you see how much it leaks. And it gives it to you in a percentage. So, you know, anything between 0 and 5 is really good. Anything between 5 and 15% leakage is still pretty good. You start getting up to 20, I start getting a little more concerned, and you get over 20 and you've got a pretty good leak. But the beautiful thing about this versus a compression test is you can listen to where the air is coming out. So if you hear the air coming out, it's a little bit easier if you have like the plenum off, but if you hear the air coming out the intake, then it's the intake valve that's leaking or is bad, not seating. And if you hear the air coming out the exhaust, then obviously it's the exhaust valve that's leaking, and I've never really had it come out a piston. I forget where you'll hear that at, but if it's neither one of those, then it's probably a piston ring. So, dude, leak down tests are the way to go. I mean, a compression test will give you a quick idea of the health of your engine, but if you're trying to figure out where it's bad at, you really can't go wrong with a leak down test. And it's super easy. I don't remember what I paid for the leak down tester, like 110, 120 bucks or something like that from Napa. You can probably get them off Amazon for cheaper. But as you'll see, it gives you a lot of information. So I'm fixing to get this cylinder at top dead center, and then I'll show you how to hook up the hose and everything. Okay, how to do a leak down test. I got this thing at top dead center. Next thing you do is screw in your spark plug, screw in the cable. That's not always easy. Oh, come on. Me and Murphy are good pals, man. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Come on, get in there. It's like going fishing. Jesus. Alright, this part sucks. I'll get it in, then we'll get back on. Turn the camera off, it goes right in, right? Again, me and Murphy, man, we're tight. Okay, so screw this thing in, screw this hose in, get it as tight as you can, get it all sealed off. Alright, good. Getting the leak down tester. Alright, so leak down tester shows you yellow, low, moderate, high leakage. So anything from 0 to 10 is really good according to this. Anything from 10 to 40 is low. From 40 to 70 is moderate, and then from 70 to 100 is you got really bad problems. So let's plug this thing in here. Plug this guy in here. Make sure it's all the way down. Alright. We'll jack this up to 100 PSI. Oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. Sorry, I'm doing this all wrong. Get this up to 100 first. 100 and 0. You get it to 100, which is actually the same as 0. Sometimes you gotta back off of it a little bit and go back up. Alright, get it to 0. Alright, I'm at 0. And you come over here and you just plug this in and take a reading. I'm getting 10. I'm not totally sure I'm at top dead center. I'm going to make sure I'm at top dead center. It may have moved it. Sometimes it'll move the piston. I may have moved the piston with the air. So let me verify that I'm at top dead center. I may not be. And we'll come back. But that's the gist of it. I had 2%. I had 2% in like each cylinder. 2 was the most. So a couple of them were 0 in the beginning, and anyway, let me just verify that that's top dead center, and then we'll keep going. I'll try this again. I think it is at top dead center. So maybe it had some carbon built up in it from sitting for so long. And who knows? Maybe it went from 0 0 to 10. Alright, here we go. Sometimes you gotta get this thing seated too. Sometimes the O-ring doesn't get seated well, so let's try it again. 100 psi, sitting at 0. Bam. Yeah, we got about 10. It's about 10%. So, alright, well, let's check the others and see what they look like. It may have obviously loosened up a little bit after running it. I don't know how long it sat. I'll have to go back and look at the registration for the car. I want to say it sat, I know it sat for at least 5 years, so maybe it's more than that. But anyway, alright, we'll go to the next one and we'll see what the next one is. That one was 10%. So let's try number 3 now. Man, I got my garage door shut because we got goddamn hurricane force winds going. No, not really, but like it's blowing 15, 20 miles an hour constantly and 25, 30 mile an hour gusts. That's like every day of my life. I'm so sick of the wind. I feel sorry for those people. Hurricanes going on right now. I feel sorry for them, but dude, we get like 50 mile an hour sustained winds here all the time with 70 mile an hour gusts. I've had to beef up my house, add like logs and crap to make this thing structurally sound. It's ridiculous, man. I'm so over the wind. I want to build a house on the ground where I don't hear this crap all the time. Alright, let's see what we got on number 3. That's at number, it's about 10 too. Interesting. Alright. So they've all gone up a little bit. I suspect if I do the other side, they'll be up as well. I'm guessing that's just from running it. I guess carbon had built up inside on the rings or whatever from not being run. So that's still not bad. 10's still not bad. All right, let's move on to number 5. Okay, time for number 5. Let's see what it's doing. Alright, 0. Oh, and we got like 5 on number 5. 5% leakage, so that's really good shape. Okay. So, there ain't nothing wrong with those cylinders. Not enough that would be causing oil to pour out of any place in particular, at least. So, I got something else going on. And I guess the only thing to do is put the engine back together, crank it up, crawl under the car, and see if I can figure out exactly what's going on. I don't see how in the world power steering fluid could be coming out of there. I don't see how... I mean, coolant could be coming out of there, but not if I've only got 10% leakage on my cylinders at the most. If I've blown a head gasket or something, it'd be leaking like crazy. So... the mystery continues. I guess I'm just going to have to get up under the car with it running and see if I can figure out what the heck's going on. So, I guess that's the next step. Alright, hang on. I'll show you what I got. I think it's coolant. It's coolant leaking. It's just dumping. I don't know if you can see it. Well, I guess I got a head gasket, blown head gasket, damn it. Alright, well, there you go. I got coolant leaking out of my exhaust pipe, not oil. So, I guess obviously the head gasket's leaking somewhere. So, back to the old question, do I pull all the crap I put in it out and just move on and free up space in my garage, or do I try to fix it, man? I just don't know. I really would rather get to my twin turbo and not mess with this anymore. So, I don't know, man. I'm going to sleep on it and we'll see what happens. I guess it's to be continued.